Welcome back to Homesteading with the Zimmermans, where each week we give you another episode of what's happening here on our Northeast Iowa 21-acre homestead. My husband Alvin and I have been married for 25 years and we have 7 children. 5 of those children still live at home. Our oldest 2 are married and no longer live at home, so this means we also have 2 son-in-laws and 1 grandson so far. So on our 21-acre homestead, we seek to preserve the self-sufficient lifestyle of our old order Mennonite heritage for the next generation. We involve the children in every aspect of the homestead, from raising and harvesting our own meat, gardening and preserving to fill the family's larder, or preserving the dairy from the family milk cows, plus all the many other skills that develop the character and integrity and relationships of a family that seeks to bring glory and honor to their Heavenly Father. Good morning, guys. It is chicken butchering day. It's Friday. Elvin has the day off of work, so we are butchering chickens. But before we butcher the chickens, we have to milk the cows and do all our other chores. So we are out here. It's about 55 degrees, which is a beautiful day for butchering chickens. And we're going to get the cows. We get started with today's chicken butchering project. I wanted to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, the Backwoods Home magazine and their sister magazine, Self-Reliance. An article in Self-Reliance that I think a lot of my followers will find interesting is this one, The Clothesline Fit for a Peasant. And it has, like always, instructions for you to build your own clothesline. So I will put a QR code for those of you that tell me I can't click on links in description because I watch YouTube on my TV. So that's why I've started putting some QR codes on there. That is for those of you that are watching on your big screen and don't have the option to scroll down and click on the link in the description. So I'll still put all my links in the description, but whenever I'm talking about something that I know you guys will want the link to, I will just put the QR code there. You can take your phone, scan the QR code, and shop from your phone while you continue to watch my video. So Self-Reliance magazine is the Backwoods Home sister magazine. It is full of recipes and how-tos, and their how-tos are spot on. Lots of good photos and instructions, and of course it's got an Ask Jackie section that I love. I always go there first because I like to hear her responses to people. And canning jar variables, how choosing the correct size jar makes a difference in what your end result is. I found that one very, very interesting, and I think you will too. So if you're watching on a device, you can click the link in the description to get your discount code for these magazines, or you can scan this QR code. So one more thing before we hop into butchering footage. Our children are very connected with where their food comes from. And for them to raise and care for chickens and then harvest them and help put them in the freezer, that's more natural to them than buying chicken from the grocery store. So it's just different, not wrong, to have our children involved in the butchering process of the food that they're going to consume. It's just a little bit of a different culture, family culture, than buying meat from the grocery store. Okay, you can give Lizzie hers.
He wants to open it. Find another trick.
Oh.
You have to find the quick.
Did you find the warm milk?
I got in there about 6:30.
What's wrong with your diaper? Is it wet?
It was crazy.
You want big horse?
People were standing beside the fence.
Grass. All right, guys, we are almost ready to go. My water is hot. Okay. Nope.
Nope.
I am just waiting for the kids to bring me a thermometer so we can check how hot the water is. I think we wanted about 160. I'm not positive. Somebody's going to look that up for me. But because this is a once a year thing, we kind of have to every year kind of relearn, okay, how do we do this? But we're about ready to get started. So this is the same tub that we use to raise our chickies. So this is our little brooder tub, and then we line it with painter's cloth, and we also use it to cool down our birds.
This one puts on a nice edge, but it doesn't keep it very long. It's just mild, soft steel.
Yep, that one's ready. Okay, perfect. And now what was this one? This one was too hot, did you say?
I think it was like 190.
Yeah, we gotta turn that one down and put a little cold water in. Okay, bring me a bird. That rooster, he thinks that they're his responsibility. I should have got larger killing cones. They don't barely fit. All right, Benjamin, you want to do this part?
You want me to?
So you kind of feel their cheekbone, and they're not all going to fit. Anyway, you cut their vein right beside their cheekbone. Yeah, my killing cones aren't barely big enough. I grew my chickens too large.
My hands don't fit up in there.
Yeah. All right, there you go. You have to hold the, yeah. And then find the cheekbone and cut.
Way down in. Yep, you push them down in so that they're completely covered. You want to make sure that the wing feathers get lots of hot water movement, and the butt, those are the heaviest, hardest feathers to come out. And you're trying to loosen the wax.
So I've never made it a secret that chicken butchering day is not my favorite day of the year, but I'm trying to be very intentional about enjoying this day, for the simple reason that everybody's help is needed. It is one of the rare jobs on the homestead where we need every able-bodied person and everybody has a chore. So a lot of time is spent together with a shared goal. There's a lot of teamwork. And so leaning into those things has made this day, this chicken butchering day, more enjoyable for me. So I don't go into a lot of detail on how to butcher chickens on my YouTube channel, mostly because I know that butchering videos are often demonetized on YouTube on YouTube. So I try not to get into a lot of detail, and that may be disappointing for some of you that are beginners and want to learn how to butcher chickens. But I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the steps. So number one, you grow your chickens until they're as big as you want them. I don't keep track of how old they are. I just watch for them to get that certain waddle, and I fit it into the family schedule. I never stress about how old they are or anything like that. Good, healthy birds are not going to die when they're older than 8 weeks old. If they're confined in a small area, and that's when you might be running into trouble. So then we dispatch them, and then we scald them, and then we pluck them and put them into cold water, and then we eviscerate them, take out all the insides. And this is where a lot of people get hung up on. But basically, all you do is you loosen the esophagus, you cut the head off and the feet, and then you loosen the esophagus, and then you open up the inside and you reach in there and you just clean everything out. There's a little green bile duct that you don't want to puncture, but in all my years of butchering chickens, because my grandma showed me, here's the little bile duct, you just want to be careful not to puncture this. In all my years of butchering chickens, I have never punctured one. You just take everything out. As a whole. You just pull everything out. A lot of people will forget about the lungs, and you kind of have to scoop the lungs in from the rib cage, the back ribs. But you know what? In the beginning, when I was first learning, there was chickens that had lungs in, and it didn't matter. Doesn't matter if you left the lungs in. So then everybody, when it comes to this part, everybody joins in and does what they feel comfortable doing. My son-in-law and I do most of the eviscerating, and the girls, they choose not to help with that, but they do the parting out of the chickens. We part out almost all of our chickens because that's how we want to use them. We use them mostly in parts like legs and thighs, chicken breasts, and the wings, and then we save all the carcasses. So this year we bought a couple new things for our chicken butchering day. That was those cones that you saw us use earlier in the video, and then these scissors for cutting off the heads and the feet. So cutting off the feet and the heads has always been the youngest people helping. It's always been their job. So this year the little boys are doing that, and everybody just, here again, everybody pitches in. There's enough work to go around, and everybody helps. So when all the parting is done, all the chickens rest in ice cold water, and then we start packaging them. So we use a vacuum sealer and the 4 jars vacuum sealer bags for packaging our chickens, and you'll find the 4 jars link in the description for those of you that are interested. And a lot of people will let their chickens on ice water to help tenderize the meat, but I feel as if ours get plenty of time to become tenderized when they sit in the freezer and slowly freeze over the next 12 hours. One of my favorite discoveries was the fact that 4 jars now makes a vacuum seal bag that's large enough to vacuum seal a whole chicken. So today we processed 40 chickens, and yes, that is the only batch of chickens we're going to raise this summer. Last year we did between 50 and 60, and we still have some of those in the freezer. And so 40 chickens is enough for our family for a whole year. And I know that seems like not a lot compared to what some people process and use, but our family eats a lot more beef than chicken. So we only need 40 chickens. So our daughter and son-in-law went home, took a bunch of chicken along for their freezer, and then we're left with the cleanup. All the buckets that we use are the same buckets we use for collecting sap. They, of course, get sanitized between each use, and the chicken is all stashed in the freezer, and it is barely noon. So about 4 hours and 40 chickens parted and in the freezer. You've made it this far in the video, and it's been a couple days since we butchered the chickens. And tonight we are taking our Aluma Coop chicken tractor that we raised the meat birds in, and we are turning it into a laying house. So all my laying hens can go out and eat grass. So we pulled it back into the shop, and we're gonna do the remodel job right here. Where's that little clip? Yeah. Because see, the food goes in here, so we have to raise this up a little bit. Otherwise, the food can't come out the bottom. So, yeah. Yeah, this is where they lay their eggs. And you don't have to put shavings in there. And you can just take that out and hose it off. And then the eggs roll down here. So because we got this shipped, they cut these 10-foot roosting poles into 5-foot roosting poles because of ease of shipping. And Alvin is just putting them back together again with a piece of PVC pipe and some bolts and lock washers. Good job, boys. One more? All right, we've got the feeders hung. We've got the water hooked up. It's outside water tank. We've got the nesting boxes in.
We need to come up with a different. Somewhere we have some hex nuts.
That like a bird up there.
Kendrick, look at your shadow. You can make things with your...
I I just have to.
Oh, yeah. Look.
You can use the ones with washers on them if you want. The short ones with
Wait.
washers.
Just a second. I have one.
Yeah.
You see a bird?
Then it goes zip goes off.
A butterfly.
A butterfly?
Yeah.
Tender it and then go bring it. One in here, man.
That's cool. Look, the tail. Look.
Right beside my thumb.
That's a bunny, Mom.
Down in.
Yep, that's a bunny. Go sideways.
And then a crocodile. What? This is like Turner. Okay, you're gonna make it. Yep, you're good. It's so dusty in here. He's down. Mom! Mom! Mom!
He's okay. Just go.
Mom!
Go. Go.
Mom, actually stop. Mom, help! Open the water. Open the door. Mom. Hey. Door. Sorry. I was just watching this again.
The chickens really like that water.
Uh-huh. It should stay fresh.
There's no chicken their water at the start.
Yeah, they should like it in here.
I'm so happy.
There's your fancy ones.
Oh, Nickelodeon, be nice.
He was just trying to do his daddy duties.
Guess I need a name for my favorite hen right there. I'll call her Fancy.
The one that we have, that's one is Ross. He's my favorite chicken. Mom, can I put
The boys want to teach the chickens how to use the nesting boxes. Careful!
You go like this. Jump, jump, jump.
Shove a couple of them in there. Head first.
Haha, that one's staying in. Maxwell, that's good, that's good. I know now.
They do know. They'll watch each other go in. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of this video. And my laying chickens will be happy out here until the days get short enough that we have to add light to their chicken house so that they lay all winter. But I plan on moving them to the garden when we are done with the garden, and they can, you know, scratch around in my garden in this thing. But here's the good news. Elvin told me that this little chicken coop, you know how we bought the laying hen attachments for it? He said they make a greenhouse attachment for it. So you put plastic over it, and then you could use it as a greenhouse. So we'll wait and see what February brings and see if I can convert this to a little greenhouse to start some of my own plants.
I think this thing